It's a rainy afternoon in September of 2021, and I'm in the car on the way to the gym with my brother who's driving. And somehow we end up talking about money, of all things. And I mentioned to him that I want to start a clothing brand, and I've sort of brainstormed the name in my head. I tell him the name and he says, "You should, bro, it's a good idea." And I was talking to him about this specifically because he had made clothes in the past. He was really good at like screen printing, designs, and he was a sign writer by trade. So he was the perfect person to talk to about it. But I'll sort of end up concluding the conversation by saying, it's not the right time. I can't afford to do it right now. I've got too much going on. And I didn't really have anything going on at the time. So I sort of just brushed myself off. But fast forward to January, the summer holidays of 2022. My mates and I are all still 14 years old. And pretty much every night throughout these holidays, we were just circling back and forth between each other's houses. So they'd stay at my house one night, then my best mates, then we'd go to our other mates, and we'd sort of just do that throughout the entire holidays. Now, I remember our version of fun was pretty much just playing Fortnite and punching down cones together. And when we would do this, we would never take it easy. We would always go all out when we would do it. So until we either felt sick or we ended up just, falling asleep. So one particular night, my parents are gone for the entire weekend, meaning that I have the house to myself. I invite my mate around and we're playing Fortnite on the TV in my lounge room. We've been punching down cones and just enjoying ourselves as we usually would. But it gets to later on in the night and we had had a lot by this point. And I remember I start feeling sick because we'd been eating like lollies and just like a bunch of rubbish. So I run to the toilet and I start being sick. At which point my mate walks past to make sure I'm all right, and he hears me, gagging and spewing and stuff. And my brother's just there like rubbing my back, making sure I'm all good. But my mate was the type of guy who would vomit when he heard like that gag noise, and then he would run and vomit. So he hears me vomiting and he wants me to move so he can spew in the toilet as well, but I'm still going and going and going. So he runs to my kitchen and he spews in the kitchen sink. So this was a staple event throughout that entire 6 weeks of holidays. But the rest of the holidays were virtually spent doing the exact same thing, going to each other's houses, playing video games, punching cones, eating rubbish, staying up late, hopping up late, not really doing much with our day. Now by this point, it's been 4 whole months since I initially had the idea to start that clothing business. And I had made so many excuses as to why it's not possible, why I couldn't do it, why it's not a good idea. Maybe it's just like I'm not cut out for this. The main excuse I would always use was that I was busy with the gym and I was dedicating myself to that. But even that, clearly I wasn't. Staying up late, hopping up late, eating rubbish, punching down cones with my mates, playing video games, all these distractions, right? But when it gets time to go back to school, obviously I've spent some of the holidays with my girlfriend doing stuff with her. I start spending more and more time with her and growing closer to her as the year goes on. Some things we typically like to do together to sort of entertain ourselves would be like go to the movies, go to each other's houses and watch movies, eat rubbish, order DoorDash or menu log or whatever, have some alone time together, if you know what I mean. And we would spend a lot of time doing this stuff together. But my 2 favorite vices that topped anything, that I always put above anything else, was our alone time and eating junk food. So these 2 vices I took more pleasure in than anything else. So obviously I was just always chasing that rush that I'd get from both. But it gets to August of the same year, so 2022. And my girlfriend and I have just been fighting every single day virtually. And I remember around the same time I had my mate's birthday party, and obviously we had been punching cones and stuff there. And for whatever reason, at this point in time, I decided that I wanted to start doing that every single day. Like in the past, I'd enjoyed doing it on the weekends, multiple times a week, but I would never do it every single day. So I start showing up to school, after I'd done it. I'd do it after school, before the gym, after the gym. And my girlfriend didn't know. So we were having these arguments whilst I was doing that, whilst I was looking her in the eye after having done that. And I end up breaking up with her towards the end of August. I think it was literally like the 24th or something. But I don't use this time to turn anything around. I use this time to get deeper and deeper into my vices. Punching cones literally the second I would wake up, before I would even leave my room. Watching corn every single day, like multiple times a day. We're talking 4, 5, 6 times a day. It got so bad, I'll do it at school. So I'll keep this up for the next, say, 4 months, watching corn every single day, punching cones the second I would wake up, second I'd go to sleep, before gym, after school, literally any chance I would get. By the time it got to December, I had deteriorated my mental health so much that I just said it's all or nothing. If I don't do something now, this path's going to continue. I'm going to stay the same for my entire life. And so I told myself, this is where everything is going to change. So I remember the bell rings at 3:30 to go home from school. And I'm walking up the path. It's my very last day. And I turn down like this little side street where I would usually go to start blazing sort of thing. I'm listening to my favorite song at the time, which was Viva La Vida. I listened to it every single day, but this day truly felt different. I had so much hope, so much faith that my whole life was about to change. But as I'm walking up, I get to the alley, I finish my J and I'm on my merry way. And so, I say everything's about to change, but it doesn't. It gets to around January and I'd completely stopped punching cones by this point, but I'd turned to something much, much harder. My mates and I started doing this one particular thing every single weekend, throughout the week, because we were on holidays. We could do it throughout the week, go to each other's houses and do it. There was one particular week there where my mate and I had snuck out of home and done it for 3 nights in a row, getting up to all sorts of mischief. And it gets to February where our luck finally runs out. I won't go too into this part because I've spoken about it in a previous video, but pretty much we end up making some very, very poor choices whilst having done this one night, which resulted in our houses being searched by police in March. We got arrested and I wasn't able to talk to my mates anymore. And it's in this exact same month that this business idea I had thought about in September of 2021 finally comes to life. I finally take action and start this business after all of this time. Had I made any more money than I had at that time? No, not really. Had anything in my life really changed? No, I was still living at home, still hanging out with the same people, virtually still looked the exact same. My circumstance did not change. What changed was pressure. Now there was pressure on. I knew I was going to have legal fees and stuff to pay, so I knew if I didn't start this now, if I didn't at least try and do something, everything was going to go downhill from there. So it took me more than a whole year to take action on something that I thought about doing. And something you have to understand, bro, is that regardless of what you decide, time will pass anyway. Time waits for no one. Start the business, don't start the business. Go to the gym, don't go to the gym. The choice is yours, but regardless of what you choose to do, time is going to pass anyway. And it's your decision as to whether or not you do make progress or you don't make progress. So I made the wrong decision in September of 2021 to not make progress, to not start the business, to just keep wasting my life away, wasting my youth, not making even any progress in the gym. And I was very one-dimensional at the time, using the gym as an excuse all of the time. I can't get a job because I spend so much time in the gym. I spend all my afternoons after school in the gym. It was always the gym as an excuse. And something that pisses me off, bro, is people who are one-dimensional. And I'm sure you can resonate with this. This might even be you. You choose one goal that's not necessarily going to contribute to all attributes of your life, and then you sort of half-ass it. You don't really dedicate yourself to it. So this is what I was doing in the gym at the time, and I was making an excuse for why I couldn't do anything else. In your life, you need to have at least 3 different pillars. You need to have a physical pillar, whether it be you're doing martial arts or you're in the gym, some sort of exercise that is helping you to work towards your fitness goals. You need to have a mental pillar. How are you going to build your mindset to be strong? That might involve, doing ice baths, reading books, meditation, journaling, all of those sorts of things, right? A mental pillar. And lastly, you need a financial pillar. What are you going to do in order to build your finances and build yourself to be that rich, abundant, successful person that you've always dreamed of being? If you don't have these 3 pillars in your life, you are not likely to get to where you actually want to be. And after you've identified what your 3 pillars are going to be, you need to understand something, bro. Success is relative. It's up to you to define what success looks like. For some of you, it may be a really nice car, big fancy house, 5 wives, billions of dollars in the bank, whatever. For others, it may just be having a really good physique, having a really good mental state, being able to, travel around the world with their girlfriend, being able to have enough money to travel. It's up to you what your version of success is, but one thing that is absolutely clear for all successful people, You cannot have it all without having all three of these things. Bro, I let years go by without dedicating myself to any one goal at a time. So my best advice to you is that time will pass anyway. So whether or not you take action, that's up to you. But one thing that is for certain is that time will pass anyway. So make the right decision, bro. Take action today. Hit that sub button, my G. Stay grinding. I've been working on my streetwear brand known as Hectic Threads for the past couple of years, and today I'm here with a very limited time offer of $20 off your very first order using code Lukey. I wholeheartedly believe that together we can make this brand renowned for the message and vision that it embodies. So please, if you're enjoying the content, consider copping some Hectic Threads using code Lukey at checkout. Love you, bro.